All right. Hello, everyone. You are welcome to today's training. Uh, like we've always been treating trade system or strategy for quite some times. Today, we'll be treating another trading system using a very common indicator called MACD. We could remember we've treated support and resistance, we've treated RSI, we've also treated stochastic. Today, we'll be treating MACD, using MACD to trade. So I always encourage us to do what? To Google about any indicator we want to use. Before you use any indicator, make sure you understand how it is being used. Just pick the name of the indicator, go to Google, type the name of that indicator. For example, this MACD, just type how to use MACD in trading Forex. You will see many of other traders and how they use it. One thing we must always understand is while we are trying their strategies, let us not forget that we may not like it. So if we are not good with it, let's try another one. Let's be open to knowledge, let's be open to learn, but let us not lose focus. One thing we must also understand is there is no perfect indicator or perfect trading system. So having that in mind, we will always factor that there could be some lapses in a particular trading system or strategy. So using indicator MACD as our case study today, we will try to attach it to our charts. And where can we find it? Look at my mouse, go to indicator list, you go to oscillator. Under oscillator, you will see MACD. I've always been encouraging us that if we don't know the reason to change all these figures, please leave it as it is. Just click OK. Leave them at their default settings. Just click OK. So we now have what? MACD. Looking at this MACD, one major thing every trader must know is to identify the trend of the market. If you're able to identify the trend of the market, you will now know where your focus will be. Knowing the trend of the market will guide you to know, is it the time to buy or is it the time to sell? Markets might be trading upward and do a little retracement. You think it has started selling, but alas, it's just gaining momentum to continue its uptrend. Market can be selling, it will just have a little retracement, you think it's about to buy. Meanwhile, it's just trying to gather some strength to continue the sell trend. By that time, you thought it's about to change direction. So trying to know the trend of the market is very important. And I encourage us to be to follow the trend. Let us make trend our friend. If we make trend our friend, our risk will be highly minimized. When we make trend our friend, our risk will be will be greatly minimized. So I'm stating it now that let us make trend our friend, because trend is willing to be to be our friend. We use MACD to identify trend. When this histogram is above, can we look at here? We have a zero line here. And you see this zero? We call it the zero line. When the histogram is above zero, it actually tells us of buy trend. When the histogram is below zero, it means sell trend. Means the market is is selling. When it is above the zero line, it means what? Buy trend. We also have this moving average, this red moving average. It's part of the MACD. So by mere looking at it, we can see that this one is what? Is on downtrend, uptrend here, downtrend here, uptrend here, downtrend here, uptrend here, downtrend here, uptrend here, and currently what? On a downtrend. So another big question is, when I know that the market is downtrend, what should I do? When the market is trending down, it is time for us to do what? To sell. It is not also good to enter the trend late. You don't just jump into the market because it's selling, so therefore let me just sell. It is not always good to do like that, because you don't know if the market has exhausted what? Its power to sell, or if it has exhausted its power to buy. So you always look for what? For a good opportunity to know when the market is renewing its strength towards what it has been doing before. Are we following? So MACD, like I said, we would like to do what? To see if we can combine another trading system that we've discussed, so it can help us to know when to do what? To place a trade. If we remember, for those that may not have joined us in our previous classes, we've treated support and resistance. You can try and look for the video, support and resistance. We will be combining MACD and support and resistance, and let's see how it can be of great help to us. As I can see a resistance here, I can see a resistance here, a resistance here, then a resistance here got broken here. Right? Now, came back to use it as a support, knowing that this thing is still what? Above the zero line. If you remember, I talked about above the zero line, telling me that it is what? It's still uptrend. And look at what happened thereafter. Now, let's check a lower time frame. Okay, can we see, okay, the same resistance I talked about? If you look at this place now, this resistance broken, came down, broken, resistance broken, coming back here using it as a support, and knowing that this thing is what? Is still buy trend, because it's still above the zero line. I'm expected to do what? To buy, and fortunately we did what? It bought. So let's look for a situation of a sell example here. I'm looking for an example to show us when it actually sold. Okay. Okay, this is it now. This is resistance. Can we see this at this place? This line was what? It was a support. You can see the market was resting on it till it got broken here. This long candle broke this support. So, and this thing, and the MACD changed to what? to sell trend. You can see the histogram below the zero line. Now, the support that was broken has turned to become a resistance, if we still remember our support and resistance teaching. Since it's now on a resistance level, this histogram, the MACD, is still below the zero line, still telling us that what? It is still a sell trend. So even this, when this market is buying and going to this resistance, our mind is still what? Sell. So when you now say that the trend is still sell and the market is what? Is on a resistance, our mind should be what? Is to place a sell trade. It's as simple as that. Our mind is what? Is to place a sell trade. I don't know if you're following. So I will combine another indicator with this MACD, which will help us greatly. So if you're not good with support and resistance and MACD, maybe you will enjoy the one I'm about to add now. Let's add our stochastic here. Okay, this is our stochastic. Remember how I got this stochastic? Let me delete it. Go to indicator list here. Go to oscillators. If you will look for stochastic oscillator. Can you see my own here? Just take your time. You will look for it. You will see it under your own stochastic oscillator. You click on it. If it will appear like this, and remember what I said, if you don't know reason why you should change any of these things, please ignore it and click OK. You have something like this. It might not be the same color with mine, but you will have something like this, of this shape. Okay, if we still remember our stochastic class, we said that when the stochastic is above 80 level, it actually means the market is overbought and it is due for retracement. And that retracement means a sell. And we also remember that we said that when it is below 20, when the stochastic is below 20, it actually means oversold and it is due for what? For retracement. And that retracement is what? It means it will buy. Okay, looking at it here now, we can all see that the market here, the trend is still what? Sell. And taking a look at this place, you can see it is what? Overbought. We say that it will do what? It will sell. Look at it. It actually sold. How far it will sell is actually one of the biggest challenges we're having. We cannot actually do what? Determine how far the movement will be. And look at it again here, again, another overbought. It actually still did what? It still went down. That is for what? That is actually for a sell. Let's look for a buy example now. We are looking for buy example. Okay, this is our buy example here. You can see the histogram is above the zero line, and you can see the stochastic below 20. So at this point, we are expected to place what? A buy trade, which we can see that it actually did what? It actually went up. Do you understand? It actually went up. So how long the movement will be is still one of the biggest challenges, like I said earlier. We may not really know how many pips it will cover for us. So that is where contentment comes into play. You can see the histogram here below the zero line, which means downtrend. Now you can see stochastic above 80 telling you that you should do what? It's a good idea for you to sell. You can see here, it's also what? A good idea for you to sell. You can see here, it's also a good idea for you to sell. So can we see that honestly the forex market is not that difficult. The challenge is having patience to wait for it. You can see here too. Histogram down, sell trend, telling you that the trend is sell. Then you wait for histogram to be what? Like this, and you do what? And you place your trade. So I don't know if we have any question. If we have any question, please let's ask our question now. The floor is open for question and answer. If you are not clear in any of the examples that I gave, please let's ask our question so we'll be clarified. It's something we need to learn and then practice it. Take our time and then look at other currency pairs and we attach it to it and see how good they actually played out. It's time for us to ask our question, please.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you today, sir?
Fine, sir.
Right. We use 4 hour and 1 hour time frame for this analysis. Hello?
I'm with you, sir.
Aha. Now, how long should our trade last in that situation when we use a certain time frame? Must we wait for that time, or we set our stop loss and take profit and forget about it?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. But I can see you've already answered the question.
Okay.
There is no particular time or a must certain time that your trade must last. If you place a trade and within the next, maybe you're on a 1 hour time frame and you place a trade and within the next 2 minutes the market moved in your favor and you are contented with what you've seen, you close your trade, or if you hit your take profit, you exit the market.
Okay.
I hope that is clear, sir.
Where my constraint is assuming one just don't want to place the trade and put a mechanism for take profit. Maybe one is like maybe you give me a trade and I analyze it, I'm satisfied with it, but I'm about to embark on a journey. Maybe I'm going to the island and I know it will last me an hour or two before I will have the opportunity to check. Is it possible to check for some other confirmations of when the take profit can be fixed? Maybe using maybe support, resistance point, and everything to know
yes,
that.
Yes, that is it. That is it. That is it.
Okay.
But you cannot really tell how long it will take the market. If there be any news release, it can make it get there faster than you anticipated.
It can scatter the whole thing.
It may not actually scatter. It might make it to get there faster than you anticipated. Maybe you think it will get there within the next 3 hours or 4 hours, only for one high impact news to be released. It might get there within the next 30 minutes. So do you understand that?
And the reverse can also be the case. If on a buy trade now.
Yes, sir. Whatever we're discussing is also vice versa.
Okay, all right, okay. Because there can be a spike that would throw it to stop loss.
Of course.
Well.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Do you have any more questions, please? Do we have any more questions? So, since there is no more question, I will encourage us to take our time, study it. The more we practice it, is the more we know it. If you don't practice it, you may not be able to have more questions to ask in our next class. So I will encourage us, let's try as much as possible to do what? To practice it. If you have any challenge, kindly still get back to me. You can chat me up and then I will gladly be ready to assist you and put you where you get confused.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think
God bless.
got the curtain here. See us again in our next class. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.